My name is Carol Anders, and I've been a parishioner at All Souls for the last 13 years. My relationship within the walls of the parish have been numerous things. I've served as a docent and coordinating the docents for various chapel tours. For several years, I was, I think we called ourselves counters when we would count the offerings in. And I've also currently working on the hospitality committee, which I really enjoy, that we do cleanup serve and other things in between during different parish events. And most recently, I'm coordinating the Thanksgiving dinner that we do, and it's just an amazing opportunity for people who A, don't want to cook, B, don't want to be alone, or C, who want to have 2 Thanksgiving Day dinners. Can't lose on that. What Kairos has allowed me to do, I hosted for approximately a year there. Once a week on a Wednesday, I'd be there from basically 1 to 4. And my responsibilities were to make sure the space was clean and neat and tidied up, and always hot coffee on. And my personal preference was always to bring some pastries and just hang out, and who would come in and be welcoming to people. What I did come to find out, and had some of the most amazing conversations with people, and I'm not talking politics necessarily, although that would often could be a hot topic. What was interesting is discovering how intelligent, how well read, how deeply caring people are who, well, I honestly have to admit that I may have discounted or made a value judgment about, because they weren't, quote, like me or my demographic. But at the end of the day, we both maybe had concerns about climate change. Maybe we had conversations about, a lot of conversations about growing up. And in my case, we'd reminisce, and I'd say, well, you know, in my day, I never walked 2 miles to school. I took a bus. But the point is, we found similarities in that, and I found people who I enjoyed and wanted to listen to, and I had a feeling they felt similarly to me. And I don't know about most people today, but being listened to is an amazing thing, because we don't do that very often. And second, being able to, when you have to start verbalizing something you know or feel or intuit, it is incredibly beneficial to be able to do that. And I'd find myself sometimes after either these guests left or when I went home, I would just start making a note of some of the words and phrases and things we had talked about, which I would refer back to. So the Kairos experience for me was, I'm a big fan of E.M. Forster, the writer, and his famous saying is, only connect. And to me, that was a place to connect. To be involved at Kairos, I would say any Monday through Friday between 11:30 and 1:30, go eat lunch there. Frankly, it's the same luncheon you may get at several restaurants, and I'm not comfortable necessarily mentioning their name, but it's places where I go and dine frequently, $10, $15, and it's reclaimed or repurposed food, whatever you want to say it. And I've been there many, many times when the delivery guys come in with the big bags that keep things warm or keep things cold to bring in food from that same day that the restaurant obviously over-prepared or whatever. And there's other institutions that commit. And you'd be surprised who you're going to have lunch with. And it's a great experience. The other way to get involved, I think, would just to be hang out at Kairos in the afternoon with whomever the host or hostess might be, and enjoy for a change an opportunity to have a rich conversation with somebody. How often do we have a conversation for 1 or 2 hours with somebody? Like, rarely. If you're a married, well, it doesn't matter. If you're a couple, or you're with 1 or 2 people that are dear to you and you do spend time with physically, I would say if you had an opportunity, go there so you can talk for a change instead of being distracted with whatever else is in your life. And then you never know who you're going to meet. One day we tried to revive a bird that had fallen out of a tree and broke a wing. We spent a great deal of time doing that. Another time we helped showing somebody how to use a particular program on a computer. I have a business background. I had some conversations a few times of talking to people about when you have a job interview, just some thoughts that you might want to take with you, because it's often competitive. You won't be the only candidate, so how do you put yourself ahead or shine a little bit? And then sometimes we had conversations about all different kinds of religious kind of things. So for me, connecting and conversation is obviously a big deal. And when you have an opportunity to do something like that, that doesn't cost you anything, but more importantly, can pay you back, it's great. Seeing myself in other people, instead of othering, oh, they're this, of seeing myself in them and them in me, and establishing eye contact too is also something that's really, I think, important, as simple that is. But once you start talking and start looking at somebody, conversation really does take a little different direction, I find. So I appreciate being in part of a group like the All Souls that gives me opportunities like that, because sometimes I'm lazy and just start looking for them, or well-intentioned friends may point me in a certain direction. Often it's helpful, but it's sort of like the cathedral has vetted in some ways some of these experiences and energies, because in our city in particular, there's almost 300 nonprofits. Who do you spend your time with? And if you're talking about your treasure as well, and investing, I think it's important you do your homework really carefully. Not that they all aren't purposeful or there's an intention there, but in today's environment, who's got the big footprint? Who's got the ability to be the game changer? Who's got the ability to sustain? So I think All Souls is giving me that opportunity too, that, if they're supporting it for a lot of reasons, I don't think they would necessarily do that without thinking it through.